Welcome to No MAAM, the podcast where we talk shit and throw a little bit of shade at everything and everyone. We'll have you saying no ma'am in no time. I'm your host, Willy Will, and this is my co-host.
Johnny, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Man.
All right, Jhoany, we are back for another episode of No MAAM. This
Mm-hmm.
time we are reviewing Drag Race Down Under, Season 4, Episode 5.
Yes.
And the category is Booked and Beautiful, aka the Makeover Challenge. So what do you think of the Makeover Challenges?
I love the makeover challenges in terms of what the queens do with them. I'm always excited to see how they do and what they kind of interpret it as. What
Hmm.
I absolutely hate about the makeover challenges is the critiques that they give the girls because they pull those critiques out of the ass. And I feel like they use this challenge to send whoever they want home. And like one year they'll be like, oh, it's not giving family resemblance. Next year they'll be like, oh, it's not giving family resemblance, but it's cute, so we'll let you win. Like it makes no like the critiques are never consistent and it pisses me the fuck off because it just feels like an excuse for them to send the queen that they don't want home.
Well, I'm gagged. And because I did not think he was going to go off that way, but you went off. Um, but I think the makeover challengers, I think what sometimes the queens fail to realize is the makeover challengers are an extension of a branding challenge.
Yes, but I feel like again, sometimes the queen will do really good with branding themselves and the person they're paired up with, and like it will give on full family resemblance, and they'll be like, "Oh, but there was no story there, so we're sending you home," or like they'll be like, "Hey, there was a story there. You were funny, so we're gonna keep you, even though you two bitches don't even look like cousins." Like I don't know. I just feel like they change the critiques up every year to fit whatever suits their needs at that moment.
True. I mean, but then again, I don't think there is a set criteria for a makeover challenge, right? Like, because everybody's drag is different. And so if you're making over someone in the style of your family, you can say that this is what the structure will be because everyone's drag is different. So that's kind of also why they like sometimes the critiques are a little made up because they essentially are. They are going
I mean,
based on what they see.
yeah, I guess. I just again love what the queens do with this challenge. Hate the critiques that the judges pull out of their ass.
All right, but to give our viewers and our listeners, right, some context, last episode, Mandy Moobs, the legend of Brisbane, she won the design challenge
Hmm.
with that LeMay outfit, and it was amazing. So if you haven't checked out episode 4, please do. And Lucina Edison and Freya Armani were the bottom two. And unfortunately, Lucina was sent home. Lucina was growing on me. I really would have wanted to see more than what she had, but I think her time expired.
She was growing on me too, like a rash.
You know, Lucina was like your, oh my
Uh,
God.
uh yeah, no, I mean, no,
No, that was Olivia Dreams. You dragged Olivia Dreams. You
did
didn't give
I?
her
I
not,
don't
yes,
remember.
you didn't give her not one chance.
Honestly, I kind of already forgot about her. She
See,
didn't last very long, so
shade. See, like that's why I don't feel bad that I was like dragging. Oh my god, like no,
at least I
they,
can say their names.
this is true. I apologize. I just for some reason my brain does not allow me to say it. I want to always say oh my god, but that's not
Tuba.
it. It's Uma, so it like freaks me out. But anyways, so back in the workroom, right? The queens are talking about the wins, and we can see that vibe has been high every single week in every single episode. That her
Hmm.
brain is telling her that she's tied for the wins.
No, she has been very consistent. She's done really well the whole season. This bitch needs to start racking up some wins
She
before they
does.
send her as home.
Yes, they have edged vibe on for so long. Like she has not like
Hmm.
climaxed yet, like
Oh.
because it's crazy. Obviously, Mandy Moobs, right? She won her first challenge last episode. Um, And then Lazy Susan peaked in the beginning, right? She came off with 2 wins, really strong on the first 2 episodes, and then she's been safe, like the last 2 episodes. So how does it make you feel?
I am hoping she's able to like pick herself back up and kind of start eating those girls up again. Because I think she did peak really early. I just hope it wasn't like a peak and that's it. I hope she's
Yeah.
able to go back up there.
Yeah, she kind of gives me like Lawrence Chaney vibes, which was the front runner in the beginning half of the season, and then kind of like was safe, and
Mhm.
then picked it back up at the end. But by that time, Benami was the one that like everyone was talking about, right? Because she was the one that was like, wow.
And I can
Um,
see that happening for like Vibe, where like
yeah,
she started out okay, and now she's well, actually, Vibe started off very strong and has been very strong. But I feel
yeah,
like she can, if Lazy Susan is not careful, Vibe can easily overtake her and take that crown.
I agree. I think so. So Michelle comes in the workroom and lets the queens know that the library is open. And we love a good reading challenge. So what did you think about this reading challenge though?
It wasn't the worst we've seen,
No,
but it
season
wasn't good.
11 was the worst.
But it wasn't good. Um, Vibe was really funny. Loved Vibe. I think some of the other girls had a couple cute jokes here and there. As a
Where?
whole, uh, again, not horrible. It was no Art Simone. It was no Art Simone. Like they haven't been in the top, so you won't be seeing them in the finale. Best read ever. Um,
Ever.
so it's kind of insane that that came from the same franchise that this just came out of, and yeah.
Yes. Vibe was a standout.
Mhm.
You kind of knew that Vibe was going to win because every time a queen wins, they cut back to Vibe's read. And that's how you know that she was reading the girls down, that the edit had to always go back to Vibe. So Vibe had a few standouts to me. My first one was Lazy Susan. The star of embarrassing bodies is here.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that one?
No. What's embarrassing bodies?
A
Or
body's
is it
made
just,
wrong.
oh, that's it? Oh, I thought it was like supposed to be like from a show or something that I missed or a
No,
movie. Oh,
no,
oh,
no. It's
oops.
like embarrassing bodies. I
Oh,
hope
I guess
so.
it's, oh,
I hope it's
I
not an
thought
Australian show that we just didn't know about and it was actually a real
that's what I
show.
thought it was, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I don't understand that reference.
Um, the next one was Max Drag Queen. The similarity your Snatch Game character had with Reese Witherspoon is the tissue box you call a chin.
Again, I didn't really think that one was that funny.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know.
What? What is wrong with you? These are some good ass reads. Like, what
I
is wrong with you?
I don't know. My favorite moment of the whole reading challenge wasn't even like it wasn't even a good read. It was just Mandy Moves being like Freya Armani. What was it? It was like looks like
Style,
Armani, face like
style
George.
like Armani, face like George.
No one laughed. And then she's like, "Well, I thought it was funny. I died. I died."
No. Then we have to go back to Vibe. Nikita Yaman. The only prep you did for this competition was
That was a good
Truvada.
one. That was a
Oh, you thought
good
that
one.
was funny?
That
Oh, you
was a
didn't think
good one.
that one's funny. That was
That was a
funny.
really good one.
I
Because that's a
died.
very, I don't know. I think that's a very like smart joke. Like if you don't know what Truvada is, you're gonna be like, "What the like?
I died.
What?"
I thought that was funny. I was in tears when that came. By that time, I was just like laughing at anything Vibe was saying. And then what like I fell out was her Mandy Moves read. Mandy Moves. Your chances of winning anything else in this competition are thinner than those hair, the fibers you call hair.
That
What?
was hilarious. That was hilarious. And then you cut to Mandy like looking at her hair, like, are they really that thin? Like, I was dying. That was
Like,
hilarious. Those
what?
those last two reads were the best ones.
Like, the pit crew member couldn't even contain himself.
Those last two were really good. The other two you mentioned, I was like, maybe I just don't understand them. Um,
I like Nikita's Lazy Susan, the Igor of Drag Race. I thought that was cute.
it was cute. It was cute. I kind
Uh,
of expected her to read those girls to filth, being that she comes from like the ballroom scene. And those bitches can be very catty. So I was a little disappointed that she
yeah,
didn't
they're not.
absolutely drag them.
That's the one thing about like some ballroom like queens that they are shady, but they don't really read the girls down, right? Like they're shady. There's a few of them that can read you down to the point where you're like, damn, like oh my gosh, but they're reading you down like it's shade, but they're not reading you down in a funny way. Like drag queens read you down and it's really funny. Like Vibe was reading the girls and it was funny, right?
Mhm.
But like Nikita was reading her as if she was like a ballroom. Like if you call somebody the Igor of like ballroom, it's like, bitch, what? You better go. It's a chop. You better leave. Like we gotta go. That you're Igor. Like you're chopped. Get out of here. Like, go come back to next ball.
Yeah, I just expected her to be meaner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else? Max Drag Queen said, Brenda breasts in show, just not this one.
That was eh.
You know what surprised me though? Lazy Susan not being able to get her words together.
I thought she'd be better at it,
Me too.
but we were wrong.
We were. I should have known by that snatch game that she probably wasn't going to be the best reader.
Yeah, fair. That's true. Yeah,
She's
she's
like
been
too
disappointing us.
cerebral, right? Like, so she got to think about it. Sometimes when you do these reading challenges, like you just have to be off the cuff and very spontaneous.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure Katya, like, we've been thinking about you at the bus stop. I'm sure that was like on the
And
cusp, like right
yeah,
off like the brain.
yeah. Like she just saw Roxy. She was like, "Oh, she was mad at the bus stop. Let me just bring that up."
The bus stop, like legs and dairy, like I'm sure Juju be like that just came out of nowhere.
Fully.
Like, is your barbecue canceled? Like
And
that
yeah,
has to
and
be just like out of
historically,
nowhere.
what we've seen is the queens who prepare for it are the ones who tend to do the worst. Like
Yes,
Silky with the footnotes,
and
literally,
and Alyssa with the
and
footnotes too.
Alyssa with her. Those were bad.
Full stop.
Those were bad.
Had to pull the kitty right there. Full stop. Because I guess that's what made Kitty's jokes funny, but they were not funny.
They were not.
Gala, fuck me. Full stop. That wasn't funny. I still don't see why she won, but anyways. So not me having to take an opportunity to drag Kitty. I need to do better.
Do you love Dragon Kitty?
Like, I really need to do better. I need to stop this. Oh my gosh, I need to talk to somebody. Like, this is not okay. Not all right. So Vibe obviously ends up winning the challenge, right? Makes sense. But the shadiest part of her win is that she wins a fucking sewing machine.
I died. I died when they said you won a singer. I forgot what the motto was. I died. I was like the girls on the floor. Like this, they just gave this bitch a fucking sewing machine. The bitch don't know how to sew.
She does it, and they gave her a fucking sewing machine. And I was like, that's the shade. That was the shade.
That
Like
was
that was the funniest part of that
that
whole
was the best
episode.
read of the night. That was
Yes.
the best read of the night.
They
Michelle
gave
giving her a sewing machine.
they gave her a sewing machine. That was awesome. Like kudos to Michelle. That was funny. That was some good shit right
You
there.
know what's funny? It's probably one of the sewing machines they already used.
Imagine. Oh my gosh. They gave her a hand-me-down sewing machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the actual challenge. Michelle tells the queens that they'll be doing drag like makeovers to real life librarians. And so the challenge essentially is to do a drag family resemblance and tell a story with that. And so Vi, because she won the mini challenge, she gets to pair the queens together. Now, we see that Vibe does a great job at pairing the queens together, right? But would you have done what Vibe did, or would you have been strategic?
I would have been strategic. Fuck those queens.
Hmm.
I would have given the skinny girl, the big girl, the big girl, the skinny girl, the white girl, the dark skin girl. Like I would have given them complete opposites. Like throw pearls. Like fuck all of y'all, and I'll pick the best one for me.
You know, honestly, I think that's a no ma'am. Like I would have done the vibe. Right. I think if we're gonna win, if we're gonna do the challenge, right, I think we should just compete on an equal playing field. I think to me, sometimes when I see like sabotage, deliberately sabotage, I feel like it's a cop out.
No, I think it's funny. And girl, you want to win. Like, I would do anything to win because you never know. You'll be on top one week, in the bottom next week. Your ass is set packet. Like I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make sure I'm in the top every single week. And if I know it's a challenge that I may not be the best at, I'm full on sabotaging the girls. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going home.
But I
I'm
think
not
for
giving up
vibe,
$100,000.
right. I also think Vibe kind of fully realized that she was good and she understands who she is as a drag queen. So the other like her putting somebody else in drag was probably easy for her. She gives you that mothery like figure, auntie figure, right? So like you know that she's done this before, so I'm sure this is nothing new. And then obviously you can tell that there's some queens who they could put other people in drag. But
Mhm.
there's other queens where you're like, this may be your first time doing this.
I mean, yeah, some queens can barely paint their own face, let alone someone else's.
This is true. It's hard, right, to paint somebody else's face. We've seen it when drag queens try to paint each other. That's so difficult.
It is. Because you don't know their facial features, you know, their face structure is completely different. Their
Hmm.
skin tone could be completely different, and you don't know how to necessarily paint that.
Yeah. But I thought Vibe did a really great job at pairing the queens. Like she did, to me, I think it made sense. So
I
at
think it was
first,
very
some of
fair.
them I was like, oh my gosh, how is that going to work? But then when they got on the runway, I was like, oh, it works. Like, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
fully.
But before we even get into the actual like runway, um, I did want to talk about something that Vibe brought up, right? Obviously, these are librarians, and this is a drag race like show, it's a drag queen show, and there's so much controversy around like drag queen story time, as
Mhm.
if drag queens, right, are grooming children to be gay. And what I thought was really interesting to me was that Vibe said, we're not doing that.
No,
Like
and
all of our
it's
lives, it's been the opposite. We have been
we,
groomed to be straight. And
yeah.
I never thought of it from that perspective.
I always have like whenever somebody brought up that argument that like we're teaching them to be queer or whatever, I was like, no, because I grew up in a very heteronormative household. Like what I saw on TV was heterosexual relationships, like everywhere. That's what we've been um thrown upon us. Like any movie, any TV show, any book, everything has always been very heteronormative, and that didn't make me straight. Like,
Right.
no. So we're not trying. Like, it can't be taught. We're not trying to indoctrinate kids as they think we are. We're just trying to show them that hey, if this is who you are, it's okay. You know, you
Yeah.
have people behind you rooting for you. It's okay. It gets better. We're not trying to convert anyone. That's not our goal at all. Never.
No.
And I thought that was a beautiful point that she brought up.
Yeah. And I really, and again, right, I think we talk about creating spaces. And I love that these seasons so far have been creating spaces for real conversations. I think, especially in today's society, right, we keep talking about how divided we are, right? How divisive these, like, you have one side, right, versus the other side. For us, as Democrats versus Republicans, right? You have liberals versus conservatives. You have the far left versus the far right. There's so many things going on, and we kind of forget that we need space to feel safe. And I
Mhm.
love that these shows, and then who would have thought it was the international seasons that would be the ones that are striking up these conversations? And I think
But
that's what's so important.
like we just had this conversation yesterday about Canada,
Yep.
and I think another great point that was brought up by Nikita and her sister was the whole conversation about like gender identity. The Fafaine,
Hmm.
you know how she finally understood that maybe that's who she is. Um, through these different franchises, I realized like every culture has their own like trans identity. Like, you know, like the Mushas in Mexico and Two Spirit people in Canada.
Hmm.
Um, they like every culture has them, but we've been kind of conditioned to believe that it is wrong and that it is unnatural.
Yeah.
But that is a new concept. That in itself is a new concept. But the concept of a third gender, of something that isn't strictly male or female, has been around for centuries.
Yep.
And it wasn't until recent where it became the norm that that was not okay.
Right. And again, I just think it's, to me, it's like, what? Why does it matter? Right?
Yeah.
Like, these people want to live authentically as themselves. Why does it matter? Why are we
Mhm.
making this a political argument? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, there was a case that went to the Supreme Court about like trans rights and trans like children having the same rights as children. Because you can't even say like other children or like normal children, because trans children are normal children.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand why we literally have to sit here every single day and fight for who we are, because people are scared. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's stupid. Um, I think it's just, you know, it's ignorance is what it is. It's they don't understand it, so they're scared of it. And they just see it as something different, and that's what scares them. But it makes no sense because it's not something that's scary at all.
No,
I think Vibe said it best. Like drag is just about creating like fun and entertainment. That's all it is. It's not about grooming anyone. It's not about teaching your kids something. No, it's just about fun, about loving each other. That's all it is.
correct. And in the words of Storm from the X-Men, people fear what they don't understand.
Yeah,
And episode one of X-Men, Night of the Sentinels, just saying, go back, the original one, the original version. She says it
you're
in her
fucking nerd.
African accent. Um, she says it. She is on the like bell tower of the Charles Xavier Institute with her and Jubilee, and she's commanding wind and lightning is coming out of her hands. And she tells Jubilee, people fear what they don't understand. And so just saying, I thought it was very fitting. So go back and watch it if you haven't.
You're a
Oh,
fucking nerd.
I love X-Men. Okay, let's get into the runway because
Bef-
I go ahead.
Before, my favorite part of this episode was seeing the librarians just have fun. Like they were having
Yes,
so much fun, and the
yes,
queens were having so much fun with them. And I
yes,
think sometimes the queens forget when they're doing these challenges. It's not just about like, okay, how can I win this challenge? How can I make them look like me? It's like, how do we introduce drag to them? How do we teach them what drag is in a way
yeah,
that's going to make them understand it and respect it and fully buy what drag is? And
yes,
I think the
absolutely.
queens did an amazing job of that this episode. Like,
Yes,
it
it was nice.
was so heartwarming just watching them have fun.
Yes, but that's what drag is, right? Like, if you ever go to a drag show, like, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna be
Yeah,
laughing your ass off. Like, that's what it is. And so I think it's an experience that everybody should like be like experience. If you're
yeah.
comfortable with your own sexuality, it does not matter who is performing. It does not matter.
No, and if you need any good recommendations for drag shows, hit us up.
Yes, we
Hit us
got you.
up. Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into the runway because I thought this was a really fun challenge. I thought it was a really fun runway. I got to see the individual drag queens and their personalities, but I also got to see the librarians open up and have fun and be like just free. I think this
Mhm.
is probably one of the first like makeover challenges in a long time where people were just free.
Yeah. That again, it just exuded. They all exuded so much happiness and joy, and it was so fun to watch.
Yes, UK had a really emotional one too. So like the last season, this pretty much season had just wrapped up. They had a really emotional like makeover challenge, and so I just implore anyone to actually like watch the Down Under makeover challenge. It's really emotional episode, but also
UK.
watch the no, I was saying
Oh,
watch Down
sorry.
Under
Okay, okay,
and
okay.
then watch the UK version too,
Okay.
because they're both really great episodes. Um, I was like, oh my god, did I have a Freudian slip? But so let's get into Vibe and Buzzkill. I thought Vibe was really smart to have Buzzkill lean into the fact that
She's a
like
buzzkill.
Buzzkill was a little like uncomfortable. Yes. Like
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah,
cute to
I thought it
me.
was really funny. I thought the story and the presentation was really funny. I am not a huge fan of the literal twins when it comes to makeover challenges. I
Okay.
just feel like that's kind of lazy.
Hmm.
Because that's the easiest way to show family resemblance. Like you just copy and stamp. They were cute looks. I love the makeup. I love the eyebrows. I just not the biggest fan of when queens do that.
Yeah. I mean, they were twins. Did I necessarily get Vibe from that look? Not so much because I've never seen like Vibe like go retro. I wasn't mad. I thought Vibe looked amazing, but I just never seen like Vibe in that look. So with that kind of wig, right? But I thought it was really good for Buzzkill. I thought Buzzkill looked really great. So the fact that like she just made Buzzkill feel really comfortable, I just was like, yes, right. I was living for the looks. And then the fact that Vibe was a vibe and Buzzkill was an actual
Okay.
Buzzkill, I thought that was cute too. So I was like, they got points for that.
You know what's funny? I didn't understand that right away up until they started giving the critiques, and then when they mentioned it, I was like, "Oh my God, wait, how did I miss that?" And then I had to rewind it and be like, "Okay, yeah, it makes sense."
Yes. And then next up was Mandy Moves and Penny Packs. I thought the resemblance at first when Penny came out, I thought Penny was Mandy.
I face wise, yes, fully. Actually, outfit wise, I thought they definitely resembled each other. I like the looks. I understand what the judges were saying when they're like, didn't really quite get the story, which is true. There really was no story there.
Yeah.
But I did like the looks.
Yes. Obviously it's about the hanky code, right? And
Hmm.
if you know, you know. It was the grinder before grinder. Like, hello. Right? That I wanted more. Like I wanted more of the hanky code. I wanted us to lean in more of that piece. I thought the resemblance was there. Like it was uncanny. Like you can tell they were like from the same family. I just wanted more of the story. Like if you're gonna do the hanky code, do the hanky code.
Yeah.
Like lean into like this pigness of it all. And so like that's what like was missing for me. But other than that, I thought it was still a great look.
Hmm. I agree.
Next, we had Brenda and Splenda Breast.
I like this. I actually really enjoyed it. Um, I thought it was very funny. I love the story that they were going for. I thought it was very cutesy. It fit both of them very well. Um, I didn't necessarily agree with the judges. I mean, like, there's no family resemblance at all. Again, I don't like it when there's like twins. I like it when it's a similar concept and maybe with like opposite colors, which is kind of what they went for. So
Hmm.
I actually really enjoyed it. I really liked Brenda's presentation.
I mean, I was with Michelle. I really didn't get the resemblance, honestly. I think it's because they were like opposite. One was black, one was white, right? In terms of like a color scheme. I just didn't get that piece. I got the story. I was like, is the bus still running? Did they get the bus? Did they catch the bus? Was the bus late? Oh, they didn't catch the bus. They missed the bus. Like I got the story.
It
Um,
was hilarious. I was dying.
so I was like, oh, so they didn't catch the bus because they're still here. Okay. The bus was tomorrow. Got it. And they just messed up the days. Like that. So I got the story. I thought the story was cute, but I would have wanted to see more of Brenda. I thought, to me, I just think she was more leaning towards like Splenda's aesthetic or trying to make Splenda as comfortable as possible. And I kind of lost a little bit of who Brenda was.
I can see that. I just think, again, not a fan of when the queens go twinning, and I much prefer something like this where it's like the opposites, but you can still see that like they're in the same drag family.
Yeah. And then it was Max and Min drag queen. And at first I was like, Min. Then I was like, oh, like maximum and minimum.
I fully did not understand that. I was just like, okay, I mean, I guess, but oh my God, that makes so much more sense. I was just like, I guess. Oh my
You was
God,
reading the same. Like,
that
I
is
think
so smart. That is so smart. Oh my God,
your
I
light
love that.
switch went off in your head. Like, the
I love
light
that.
switch went off. Like, maximum and minimum. Like, yes.
Okay, okay, I get
So
it now.
yes, the family resemblance was there, right? This is the only one that I kind of was on like a little like I didn't agree with what the critiques were. The family resemblance was there. I think it was a good enough story with the bow switch to fully understand that they one had a purple one had the blue one, and needed to switch.
I didn't really. I just thought the looks were kind of basic. They were cute, but I will agree with the story was there. I just don't think it was very strong or a very good story necessarily, especially compared to what the other girls presented. Like
Okay,
it felt very like last minute thought.
okay. But then again, right? She probably isn't like the greatest seamstress. And
Oh,
so
we
like
know
putting it as a concept, right, all together, I think she did great. I thought Min looked amazing, and Min was so like excited,
that
right?
was a queen.
And
That was a queen.
enthusiastic. So Min looked good, and she was feeling herself. And I think that's the whole point of the challenge, right? It's like she was so comfortable and she trusts Max to like make her over. And it kind of gave her like a newfound like lease on life. And I thought that was really great.
Yeah, I mean like again, you could tell every single queen, oh every single sorry librarian had so much fun, and they fully leaned into like I'm a queen, I'm a drag queen,
Yeah,
and I loved her, and I think she you could tell she was probably one of the ones that had the most fun on that stage.
yeah. And next was Freya and Athena Armani. And I like this one.
I It was okay. I don't know. I felt like the looks were a little too different. I like they still resembled each other. I wish maybe they were a little bit closer in style and silhouette. I don't know. I thought they looked beautiful. I love the hair. They were. I love their performance, their story. That was really funny.
Yeah.
And it fit them really well.
Yeah, I like honestly, I didn't mind that the looks were totally different because Freya is a young queen, right? And Athena was like the older queen in this. And so to me, the only story they could have done was mother and daughter. I would have like that to me made more sense than like sister and sister, like older
Oh,
sister. Like no, they needed to do mother and daughter. And I think to me that made sense, right? Why Athena was more covered up, but yet Freya was like more Freya. And I thought to me it made sense.
yeah. No. I just wish there was a little bit more similarity between the two looks. Like she still could
Right.
have been covered up, but made it look a little closer to what she was wearing.
Did you see the photos that she did with her actual drag mom in the looks?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think you probably would like those because they look more like drag family resemblance. That they like her and her drag mom. Like the photos came out really great. So
Let me look this up real quick.
yeah, they look
Where
really good. And then you had Nikita and Susu Iman. This was
oh,
my favorite.
okay. Yeah, but see, this is not the same outfit they wore on or like
No, it's
I
not.
feel like no, yeah. Obviously that looks better because it's not the same outfit. But anyway,
Yes,
Nikita, Miss
Nikita
Nikita,
and Susu Iman. This was my favorite.
hands down, fully. The story was beautiful. They both looked amazing on the runway. Susu was glowing. Like she looked like a queen up there. Like she looked so royal, so beautiful, so statuesque. I thought they killed it. And the
Yes,
fact that they had like they connected it to their cultural identity, and brought up the Fafofine. I thought it was beautiful, and I think they did the best tonight.
yes, yes. Again, right, and we talked about this on Canada when Jaylene came out in her look, right, about her culture. And when Nikita did this, I just felt like the air in the room was like stood still.
Mhm.
It was just something about owning your heritage and living in this moment, but then being able to showcase this on the world stage. Right. One, I have to commend Nikita for like being so vulnerable to be able to say, yes, I'm gonna tell my story. I think that's really great. Two, I have to give to the producers, right? Michelle, I think even for allowing that to stay in, right, on the final edit, because it's one thing to tell a story, but it was other things for people to allow you to tell you that story and
Mhm.
give you a seat at the table, right? And I think Michelle is very intentional on saying, no, they're going to tell these stories because this is what needs to be like told. I just thought it was really powerful, and I am so excited that we got to see it. Right. Also, want to say thank you to Nikita for allowing us in. I think that's
Mhm.
there's power in that, right? And then Susu was living her best life.
She
So
was Susu looked so beautiful up there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You could tell she's been wanting to do this for a while, and I felt like it was kind of liberating for her, for both of them.
yes, yes,
Um,
yeah. So
and
like Nikita was able to find a piece of her that she probably was a little scared to like realize was always there, and so being able to do this challenge really helped her understand that and tap into that, and there's power in
mhm,
that.
there is.
Next was Lazy Susan and Dumbwaiter.
First of all, this name, I had to pause it when they said her name because I could not stop laughing because it just makes so much sense. Lazy Susan and Dumbwaiter. I loved it. I
Yes,
loved it. That being said, these looks, I hated.
they were no
I
ma'am.
hated them. No, no, ma'am. It was a button down with the plaid skirt. It was boring. It was
Yes,
basic. I thought they were hilarious the way they presented it with like Dumbwaiter being the older bully sister. I thought that was hilarious. But these looks were no, not at all what I expected from Lazy Susan. I
it
feel
was
like it was a cop out.
it was lazy.
Yeah,
Like I'm sorry, Lazy Susan's looks were lazy,
very.
and like the story couldn't help her but so much. Um, And to me, honestly, like I know this is a drag like makeover challenge, but this is still her challenge, right? She's still the one on the show. And I kind of felt like Dumbwaiter stole the show.
Oh, fully, fully. I think this was a bad night for Lazy Susan because I don't know. These looks didn't give me Lazy Susan necessarily. Like it's not what I expected from her at all.
No. I think it was so much on the story that we lost Lazy Susan. And you know when you're such a creative genius that sometimes it's you kind of get so caught up in your head, right? That you think of the story, right? And as a concept. And Lazy Susan is a conceptual queen. Like they're the genius that is in her brain is crazy. And I just think that kind of like overpowered the actual like challenge.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to know as whether like if that was the original look she had planned, or maybe something fell through and they
Hmm.
didn't allow her, like, they didn't allow her to present what she actually wanted to.
Yeah,
Because we know that's happened a lot throughout the
true.
years.
Yeah. I mean, well, Lady Susan does a really great job at like the behind the scenes every time there's a challenge to tell you exactly where her mind is because we need to know what the fuck is going on in Lady Susan's head. Because sometimes it's way out there. So she does a good job at breaking it down on her Instagram page. So I just implore everyone to go to Lady Susan's Instagram page and just get into her mind because trust me, once you're there, is a lot. So um based on these critiques, right, Nikita and Vibe end up being double winners of the challenge.
I think it should have just been Nikita. Love vibe. Thought she did great. I think it was fully Nikita's solo challenge win.
I'm not mad, but I agree. I thought it should have just been Nikita alone. But because Buzzkill also had an emotional like journey with
Oh,
this,
I
like
love that. I love that buzzkill when she first walked into the workroom. Like she was so shy,
yep,
and then when she was up in that stage, she was just living herself. She was being shady as hell.
yep.
I loved
And
it.
so based on that, right, like Buzzkill's like story arc, I was like, yes, we need to give it to Vibe. It makes sense. And I wasn't upset that this was a shared win because I think both of them equally, they were the best. And everyone else was kind of like there. They did great for a makeover challenge, but based on those two, they were the best. So
Oh,
to me, it
absolutely.
just made sense to give it to them. But I do agree, if we had to choose one solo winner, I think it should have just went to Nikita.
Yeah, fully.
Um, we get to see that. Oh, remember Nikita and Vibe? That was Team Orange.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's con. That's
It
con.
is. Yes. That was Team
Yeah.
Orange. Remember, they had a little drama in the beginning of the episode. Who would have thought? These
Oh my
producers
God, they did. It's been
in
so
this
long. I
foreshadowing.
forgot about that.
Yes.
I fully forgot about that.
Yes. She was like the girls are gatekeeping.
Oh my God, it feels like that was so long ago, but that was only like what, like 3 weeks ago?
Literally three
Like
weeks
four
ago.
weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
girls are
God.
gatekeeping. And by the girls, she means Vibe. The girls are gatekeeping. And now they're
Who
like
would have
besties.
who would have thought I would have ended up liking Nikita this much? Because I hated her. I'm not hated her, but I really was not the biggest fan of her that first episode. But right now I'm a full on Nikita stan.
I told you. I told you. I
You did.
did.
You did.
I said, listen, this ballroom, you got to know ballroom. She's going to warm up and we're going to get it. There's potential there. I said it. Once she said your white gay's favorite brown girl, I was sold. So it didn't make a difference what Nikita did. Okay. Like, I was going to be a Nikita Iman stan. Like, hello. Like, my
I
good sis Nikita is doing it big.
I've been converted. I've fully been converted.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Vanjie. Um,
Oh, I just thanked myself. Oh
so
God, I need Miss
good.
Vanjie back on the screen
We do,
like
we do.
ASAP.
Yes. And so we get to see that Max Drag Queen and Brenda Breast on unfortunately the bottom two of this episode, and they lip sync to Like a Girl Does by Peach PRC. What did you think of the lip sync?
First of all, it shouldn't have been Brenda in the bottom. I think it should have been Lazy Susan. Uh, but lip sync. I was not expecting Brenda to turn it out the way she did. Like that bitch did not want to go home. She was
No,
like, "I'm not going home." And it sucks that this was not the double save because I feel like it should have been.
I
I
don't.
hate that I, I think it should have been because you could tell that she wanted to stay and she was fighting. She was fighting. She was pulling out all the stunts she could think of. Did she win? Absolutely not. But she was trying so hard. You could tell
Yeah.
she wanted it. And it was definitely a better lip sync than the double save that they actually had.
Yes. Um, I thought she made a good attempt to try to match Max's energy. I just thought the energy that Brenda was giving was very like manic.
Oh, fully. Oh, the bitch was scared. She was frantic. But she tried. She really tried.
I
And it wasn't a horrible lip sync. It was not a horrible
No, it
lip.
wasn't
She
a
didn't
bad
do
lip
bad.
sync.
She didn't do bad. Max definitely won that. But I think
Yeah,
I think they
like
should have used a double save for this one.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of sad that Max like ate her up, but but it's
But
so
I
funny
mean,
because Max ate her up, and Max wasn't even at 100%. Max was like probably like a 91.
not even. Max was way lower than that. Like, I feel like she didn't even try that hard because she knew she had it in the bag.
Yeah. So
She was like, "Let me just do a couple flips," and I got it.
and some spins.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was the episode. So question, because someone brought this to my attention, right? Obviously, the podcast is No MAAM Podcast, right? And so, what do we call the people who watch us or listen to us? What are they?
I don't know. Oh my God. I was not expecting this question.
I know. So I've always been like, hey friend, because how I got No MAAM, right? How I got the concept is because obviously we would be like No MAAM, but our friend group, right? We might even put it in the group chat. So obviously it's not friend like you normally spell friend,
Hmm.
but it's friend FREN, right? We're friends. And so I was like, why don't we just call our like viewers like friends? They're friends
Oh, I
because
like that.
they get to enter the group chat.
That's cute. I like that.
They get to
I
be a
like
part of
that.
the group chat. So obviously right now, right? If you on like the entry level, you're friends. And the more you follow us, the more you like get to know us, then you become besties.
The more you tip.
The more you tip us, right? Like the more you comment, like, and subscribe, you become
Besties.
besties.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
So the people who watch No MAAM, the people who listen to No MAAM, they're our friends.
I like that. I actually really like that.
Yes.
FRENS.
Yep.
Friends.
Friends. So it's like, hey
Yes.
friends, like, hey friend, that's my friend.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, somebody actually brought this to like, somebody asked me, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's true, right? Like, you know how some people they have like monsters and they have like what was that?
Arianators. That was stupid.
Arianators?
That was
Yeah, I don't know. And like,
I'm
you
about to
have
get canceled.
you
I'm
have the
about to get
barbs,
canceled.
right? And so I'm like, wait, we should have one. So it's like friends. So they're our friends.
I mean, we know we all need to thank Gaga. She was the first one that was like My
Monsters.
Little Monsters,
Yeah.
and then everyone followed suit after that.
Yep. So
I don't know.
this is our invitation. Welcome to the friend group, y'all. So
Yes,
like, welcome to the friend group. We cannot wait to see who becomes besties.
yes, and
Um,
we actually really we have some besties coming on the show real soon.
we do have some besties coming on the show real soon. So excited about that. Actually sooner than later, to be honest.
Yeah,
And
like
so
sooner
that
than
is
you'd expect.
yeah, sooner than you expect. So it'll be really fun to see that. But anyways, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you put like we have to treat the algorithm. Like we gotta get up there. Like people are viewing our page, but we're human, so we may forget to like. So just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our page so you don't miss a single episode of No MAAM. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of these podcasting platforms,
We're on
rate
our
us.
radio.
Yeah, we're on iHeartRadio.
Oh
Yes.
shit.
Yes. Spotify and iHeartRadio. We're not on Apple Podcasts, unfortunately, because Apple Podcasts kind of sucks. No shade. They kind of do. Like, they don't really get anything. I've researched it. They don't really do anything. So, yeah, if you're not on, like, maybe. Somebody change my mind. We may be on Apple Podcasts if you can change my mind. If you can show me the benefit in Apple Podcasts, then maybe I'll sign us up for No MAAM. But until then, we're on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And as always, we'll have you saying No MAAM in no time. Bye.